Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa Plata. I'm your host for today in the heart of Hollywood. And we have a very special guest. It's Rogelio Ramos.
Hi.
Tell us, how
Yes.
are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Doing
It's actually
great?
a beautiful day today, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, Rogelio, I would like to hear how your career started. What was that sparked your heart and you said, you know what, I'm going to Los Angeles?
All right. Well, it didn't start as a plan. It was one of those things that it's an interesting story. So, as a child, I always wanted to be an actor. My father idolized the great actors of their era, of the golden era of the 70s. So, by the time I was 10, I've seen The Godfather 1 and 2 many times. I knew who everybody was, from Strasberg to Al Pacino to everybody. So, I idolized that. But being from Laredo, which is a wonderful small border town back then, there was really not a lot of opportunities to pursue that. So I went into broadcasting, into news. I did Spanish news with Telemundo and Univision. I was a sports anchor. And something really interesting happened. When I started working in San Antonio, I found in the desk that they gave me this catalog of a local talent agency. And I was like, well, what a coincidence. One of these days I'm going to call them. And I would keep forgetting. And 2 years later, I get a telephone number in my pager. And I call, and it was one of the agents from that same agency dialed the wrong number and called my pager. And I ended up signing with them, and I did my first audition. It was for a Lotto Texas commercial. I booked it, and I got bit by the bug. And that's how I started.
Wow, how amazing. That's a very interesting story. And how has been your career in between all these projects that you are doing? Because now it's been for years, and your family, how do you manage? Because I know you have a loving family. I've been following, I do know. So tell us about that. I think it's very special.
Well, first of all, my family, both sides of the families, they do have a little bit of an artistic inclination, especially my mother's side of the family. In fact, one of my cousins, he's a renowned director here in Hollywood. And at first they were a little apprehensive, because obviously, they worry about your future. But, I got started with kind of quickly, and everything started working out. So now they're very supportive and very proud. And I try to visit as much as I can.
That is beautiful. And what are the best projects that you can say, you know what, this is the one that I enjoyed the most. This is what really make you say, you know what, I love this.
Oh, wow. Okay. So one of the first experiences that I had here, which was, it doesn't happen very often. I'd moved to LA, and within 6 months I booked a small little part in Spider-Man 3, which was a big deal because you just got to LA. You're barely starting, and next thing you know, you're working with Sam Raimi and you're acting opposite to Tobey Maguire. And I didn't tell almost anybody back home that I was in LA or what was happening outside of my family. So when people went to the movie theater and saw it, they were freaking out back home, like, what the hell is Rogelio doing in this movie, right? When did he become an actor? I had a lot of fun doing 5 seasons of Silicon Valley, which was hilarious, and written and produced by Mike Judge, who's a comedic genius. And then last year, I had a great experience working on Dynasty in Atlanta. I mean, everybody was amazing from crew to cast and made me feel very welcome. And that was a really wonderful experience.
So your mom must be really proud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping.
Oh, of course she
I'm hoping to make her more proud, hopefully.
I've always followed your stories, and it's just so beautiful because you can tell the love and the support, and how your career has been, advancing, and it's just been such an incredible story.
Oh, thank you.
And
you should tell people that we go way back. Because you were friends. You were friends with my brother, back in the same town, and then we ended up here.
Back in the same town. So I've been following all these years because of that, and it's always been something like, yes, this is our friend, and we're so proud.
Thank you. Thank you. It puts a little bit of pressure because that's the only place where I'm treated like a quasi celebrity. When I go back home, nobody cares you. But over there in Laredo, everybody's like, we're rooting for you. I'm like, man, I got to do something really special one of these days because you don't want to let people down.
No, but it's all the love that everybody has for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent in that little border town. Believe it or not, there's so many very successful people in the industry that came from Laredo. I don't know what it is about the water in the Rio Grande, man, but they come here and maybe it's the bicultural aspect of our community that opens a lot of doors here. But I see a lot of successful people in the industry from that small border town.
Yeah.
I'm very proud.
So, what would be something that you would tell or advise to young generations that are trying to get into the industry that, because it's sometimes so difficult, whether you're from here, Los Angeles local, whether you're here from California, many other states, and it's always a challenge as everything in life. But what would be one advice that you will give them?
Prepare yourself. And what I mean by that is educate yourself. You might have a lot of passion, a lot of drive, but you have to have a plan. You have to know what you're doing. You have to study. Even if you're just an actor, you have to study and really work on your craft, as behind the cameras or in front of the cameras, and surround yourself with people who are successful, not because you want to get something out of them, but because that energy is contagious. So you want to be with positive people who are successful, who are driven, who inspire you to get better. And so I guess that's one of my main. And always also have, plan A and plan B and everything together, because there's going to be ups and downs.
So you said inspire you, and that leaves me thinking, what inspires you?
What inspires me? I think the biggest thing has definitely to be the family, Growing up in a family where, since you're a kid, they're like, get up and sing something. My grandfather being a composer, and we had all these really famous people, singers and musicians from Mexico. They were good friends of the family. They really inspire, they really celebrate artistic expression. And the family's known for that. So it's almost like you have the responsibility to continue with the tradition and do a good job at it too.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I think inspiration, it's always, what moves the world, and of course, creativity. What would be one film that you say, this is just my all-time favorite?
I can't. No, you can't. You can't, because there's different genres and everything. Just the other day, I was watching The Godfather 2 again, and you're looking at it, you're like, this is a masterpiece, right? But then you see, it's such a broad question or to answer that, but I definitely do have favorites, Godfathers being one of them. I think the 70s was the height of the golden era of the best acting in Hollywood, and that's what you have the greats from that era, De Niro and Pacino and everything. So I think those are like the films that really inspire me.
Well, that is wonderful. And what is next in your career?
Well, like always, as actors, you're always, you're always auditioning, you're always looking, you're calling your agent, you're all this stuff. There's a couple of things that might be coming down the road, but, as they say in Spanish, Laredo, you can't talk about it because se sale. It's bad luck. Yes. But yeah, always looking forward to the next project and to the next challenge, really.
Well, yeah, that is beautiful. Rogelio, thank you very much for being here with us today at the Heart of Hollywood. It's such an amazing career. We're going to be following you. What would be your Instagram or one page that fans can follow you? Where do we get the news, or what are you doing next?
Well, my Instagram is, if you know how to spell this, it's Rogelio, R-O-G-E-L-I-O, Rogelio Ramos Actor. It's just one word. That's my Instagram. And I guess when I do work on new stuff, that's where I post it.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you very much. So we're here in the Heart of Hollywood magazine. Thank you, everybody. This was one more of our series. We hope that you enjoy it. Thank you very much.